The News Channel 11 investigation reveals a third sushi restaurant in the Tri-Cities may not be serving what's on the menu.
In fact, 2 lab tests for white tuna roll from Wasabi Japanese Steakhouse in Kingsport came back and did not show any fish DNA. Curtis McLeod has answers tonight from the restaurant management and the results of a third lab test.
Just like the other restaurants in our initial investigation, we ordered a white tuna roll listed on the menu at Wasabi. After testing the sample twice, it came back as a common bacteria. It wasn't until our third test that we uncovered what type of fish is being sold, and it wasn't even listed on the menu. Barbara Kent visits Wasabi Japanese Steakhouse regularly. You can imagine her surprise when we shared the results to our first white tuna roll test from Wasabi.
Oh my. Oh. Not good. Not good.
Wasabi makes the 10th restaurant we've tested as part of our special investigation on sushi restaurants across the Tri-Cities. All right, here we go. Just like all the other restaurants we tested, we ordered a white tuna roll from Wasabi.
Just one white tuna roll.
Following the same process, I packed up the white tuna roll and shipped it to Applied Food Technologies in Florida. You may remember AFT does thousands of species testing a year for restaurants and television stations across the country. Our first test results for Wasabi came back as a common bacteria. Just to be sure, we had the sample tested again, and the lab told us there was no fish DNA in the 2 samples they tested.
That's scary. Very scary.
Applied Food Technology CEO Leanne Applewhite.
It's a very common bacteria on people's hands, on surfaces. It's not a pathogen. It's just a bacteria that's prevalent everywhere.
We went back to Wasabi and picked up another sample, same as the first time, a white tuna roll, and followed the same process.
Take our samples from Wasabi.
Shipping the fish overnight to Applied Food Technologies in a cooler with ice packs. Our third test results came back as escolar.
What do you think about that?
That's kind of disgusting.
No, I did have the opportunity to speak with the manager here at Wasabi in Kingsport. He declined to go on camera with me, but says they list white tuna rolls on their menu because that's what their distributor calls the fish. They also tell me that after doing their own research and after our initial report aired, they are making some changes to their menu. That change, according to the manager at Wasabi, will be a message letting customers know they are eating raw fish. He says there are no plans to list escolar on the menu because legally the restaurant doesn't have to do so. A state health inspection completed several weeks after we picked up our first white tuna roll from Wasabi shows the restaurant received a score of 86 and 3 critical violations. Those violations were listed as food separated and protected, proper cold holding temperatures, and hand washing sinks properly supplied and accessible. We reached out to the Sullivan County Health Department and received this statement. Where escolar is labeled on the menu as white tuna, this would not be considered mislabeling, but rather using a common nickname or vernacular. While the FDA discourages using vernacular descriptions, it is not actually a violation of our rules. Out of 10 restaurants where we test tuna rolls, miso teriyaki, Wasabi, and Hana Japanese Steakhouse, all came back as escolar.
After your piece came out on the news, we had some customers who were contacting us with concern about it.
Escolar has been removed from all the menus at Miso in Johnson City.
Taking it off the menu is, a general concern for their peace of mind and also their well-being.
Barbara Kent is still waiting for peace of mind from Wasabi.
Do you think you'd ever eat at this restaurant again?
No.
Hana Japanese Steakhouse in Johnson City still have not returned our calls. Now, we did reach back out to Wasabi again. They didn't want to go on camera with us, but it's important to point out that restaurants do consider white tuna to be an alternate or nickname for escolar. Curtis McLeod, News Channel 11, in your corner.